So the last video I made in 2025 was 2026, here's your escape plan. And that was a motivational video to try and persuade people to get started with YouTube in 2026. And I set a goal during that video that I would come back in December 2026, make a new video, and we'd all come back, or whoever wanted to, would come back in 2026 in December and see what their progress has been and how far they've come. As 2026 begins now, I've reached 1,000 subscribers actually on the 24th of December 2025. I wanted to come back now and talk about how to progress in 2026 on YouTube. Where are you going and how are you going to get there? Because I think there's only a certain amount of motivation that you can watch or that you should watch. And at some point you have to ask yourself, okay, I'm going to start, or I have started, where am I going now? And if you've already started, even if you've had a channel for a long time, you might be coming into 2026 with new plans, new ideas, targets for growth and how you're going to improve your channel. And so I wanted to talk in this video a bit about the sort of disconnect between the motivation and getting stuck almost on the motivational stage, and then actually getting started with the real growth of a channel. Because the motivation is just the first step. Once you've started, then you need to focus on growth. So how do you do that? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about a bit in this video. So I wanted to go back a little bit and just revisit something that I think is really important. So within the last sort of 3 to 4 months on my channel, I did 3 YouTube channel review videos where I looked at subscribers' channels and I went through them, did a bit of an audit and just said, you know, gave them a quick 20-minute video on what I would do or what I could suggest that they might think about for their channel's growth. And so I wanted to go back to those 3 videos, or those 3 channels, sorry, and revisit them and see how they've gone. Because if you do need motivation to get started, or you need motivation to continue, then I think this is going to really maybe help you to put some things into context. So again, we're talking about the last 3 to 4 months. So the first channel review I did was Aussie Thor Chess. And when I reviewed his channel, I've got some notes here, so I need to look at the numbers here. When I reviewed his channel, he had 229 subscribers. And now he's sitting at 675 subscribers. Now, for context, that is 194% increase in that last 3 to 4 months that I made that video for him. And he's progressed or grown 194% since then. Then I did a video about plain folk living, which is Josh, and his channel had 19 subscribers when I reviewed it, and he now has 245, which is a 1,190% increase. And then the final video review that I did, or channel review, was Adam at the Basement Economist, and his channel had 84 subscribers when I reviewed it, and he now has 973 subscribers. So within 3 months, all of them have grown. Now Adam's grown 1,058%. So Adam is actually also has the watch time for monetization now. He just needs that extra, 27 additional subscribers, and he will have a monetized YouTube channel. So he's actually potentially going to be ahead of me, which is nice. And all of these guys have been around my channel for a long time, pretty much since the start. And all of them reached out and asked for this review. Now, I'm not saying that my review is what grew their channels. I'm sure far from it. I might have given them a couple of good ideas, but what actually grew their channel channels is what I want to talk to you about in this video. So I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail. How did they actually grow? What did they do? What is the recipe for success that you can replicate and repeat? So let's talk a bit about that. So let me tell you my theory on that. So I wanted to start by, oh, got a bit of a tree tunnel there. So I wanted to start by telling you a story, and I think this story is going to highlight exactly what you need to do on YouTube. So this goes back to when I was a police officer and I attended a burglary. And basically it was a 4-story property. The victim lived in the basement apartment, and when I arrived, I went down the stairs towards the front door and I saw that there was a broken window. Most of the glass seemed to be on the inside, which suggests obviously that somebody broke in from outside. There was also a piece of wood, like a board on the floor outside. The victim opened the door and it was a 19-year-old man, and he lived in this apartment with his girlfriend. They were students at the local university. And we went in and started talking to him, and he'd had a guitar, a laptop and some other stuff stolen. And while we were getting some details, I noticed that immediately across the street there was some scaffolding with some builders working on it. So on the building opposite, they would have had a very good view of what went on. So I went over and talked to the builders, and I'll be honest, they looked a little nervous when they were talking to me, which is fairly common when people speak to the police, so I didn't think too much into it. But they told me that they did see someone. They'd seen someone sitting on the wall outside the apartment. And when they described this person, I realised that I think I know who this is, because I'd seen somebody on our morning briefings a few days before that fitted the description that they were giving me. And it was quite a distinctive description, so it really stood out. And this person was a divisional target for burglary. So armed with this new information, I went back across the road to speak to the victim. And what I've thought is that they're similar age. I think these people know each other. So I went in and I spoke to the victim and I said, if I give you a description, tell me if this sounds like somebody you know. And maybe not even halfway through the description that I gave, the victim said, yep, that's Andrew, blah, blah, blah. And that was exactly the name that I had in my head too. So things were starting to fall into place. What we also noticed is that there was blood on the window. So whoever had broken in, potentially, had cut themselves and left DNA evidence. So when we asked how this person knew Andrew, it turns out that he was a friend of a friend. And that friend, and this Andrew, had stayed over at the victim's apartment a couple of nights before, at the weekend. And he said, the victim, I thought it was weird because when I woke up, I saw Andrew standing looking at my university timetable. Now you might think, that's pretty low, isn't it? Going into someone's apartment, being welcomed in, staying over the night, and then coming back and stealing their stuff a couple of days later. So as we're discussing this, there's a knock on the door. And we're trying to obviously establish that the blood that's on the window is not the victim's, but it's also not Andrew's from the weekend. Because if he'd been in the apartment already, staying over as a legit guest, he's going to have his DNA everywhere, and he could claim that he cut himself on the window when he was there staying over. And that's why his blood is there, therefore giving him a defence against the burglary. So we had to establish that he hadn't cut himself at that time. And while we were doing that, this knock on the door happens. And so I go and answer it, and it's one of the builders. Now the builder comes looking very, very nervous at this point. And the first thing he says to me is, am I going to get in trouble if I tell you something? Now, that's a difficult question to answer because I don't know what he's going to tell me yet. Although at this point I've got a pretty good idea. So I said to him, well, I don't know what you're going to tell me, but let's assume that I'm not looking to get you in trouble. So just tell me the info and we'll go from there. So basically what happened is he didn't just see this person sitting on the wall. The person actually approached him and asked if he could borrow one of his tools because he'd locked himself out of his apartment, didn't have a key, so he needed to get back in. So now you can see where this is going, I think, but there's a little bit more. Not wanting to lend his tools to this person that he didn't know, the builder had said, "Oh, I can't lend you my tools, but I'll come over with them and I'll help you." So the builder had actually come over, taken the board off the already broken window, because the break in the window had happened previously through something unrelated. So he helped remove the board, therefore allowing the burglar to open the window, climb in and gain access to the apartment, and then obviously take all the stuff. Now, of course, the builder was doing a good deed, and there was nothing that was going to be done to him in our mind, of course, to punish him in any way for this. It was not his fault. He was trying to be a good person. What it shows you, I think, is that all of these things coming together will get you to a result, because we ended up actually getting this person, this Andrew, and arresting him, and of course he got convicted of the burglary and many others, in fact, around the area at the same time. I think it was 10 different ones or something that he was then also charged with. But we'd have never got to finding this person if it wasn't for the fact that all the little pieces came together. It wasn't just one of the things, it was many, many small things combined. And this is what I really want you to understand with your YouTube channel, is that it's the small things that add together that are going to make you grow. It's not one individual thing. So just watching videos about YouTube motivation all the time, including mine, there comes a point when you've got to do something else. You've got to go beyond that stage and do something more. And so what I'm going to be focusing on my channel in 2026 is still the motivation stuff, but I'm also going to try to provide you with the extra pieces, all the small things. What mic should you use? How do you get good audio? What editing software do you use? How do you do that? How do you do thumbnails, titles, descriptions? What's the best upload settings? All these things, all these small pieces that you need. So if you're still watching this video and you're still not started, then you just need to get started. Okay, I've got loads of videos on this, so you need to get going. If you have started, you should find something in this video that helps you, because, or in my future videos, because I'm going to now give you the next steps, because you've watched enough motivational videos now. You should be ready to take the next steps. And so what is the next step? Well, whether you've just started, you're thinking about starting, or you've been started for a long time, doesn't really matter. What I want you to do is come up with an idea, list out 3 to 5 video ideas, and then what I want you to do is just choose one. It doesn't matter which one, just pick one. And then I want you to just go out and make that video. No thinking, no procrastinating, no, I haven't thought of my title yet, so I can't do the video, or I'm having trouble writing a script. Just wing it. I don't care. Just go and make a video. Okay, because what we're going to do then is we're going to go back to that video. Now, if you're obviously an established channel, you might be many steps ahead of this, but I want you to make one of your videos. And then what I want you to do is go through that video and say, how was my thumbnail? How was my script? How was my delivery? How was my editing? How was whatever it is that you can think of that you can assess on your video and look at improving. And then what I want you to do is list out those things that you can improve and start working on them. No more motivation, okay? No more get started or just continue, don't give up. Just look at your videos, come up with improvements and work on them. Now, some of those things are already addressed on my channel, and the rest of them are going to be addressed in the future, because I'm going to start to focus down a bit more now on those extra tasks that you need to really succeed, because there's only so much motivation you can have. At some point, you've just got to hit record. Now, I've got loads of resources. I have obviously my channel, I have a school community, which is completely free that you can join. And there's loads of good information there, and there's more and more coming. And in the future, I'm going to start offering some things there that I don't offer anywhere else, like free courses, for example. And I don't know when that's going to be ready, but I'm going to start by offering some free material, basically, that you can use, and it's only going to be there. So consider going and joining the school community, because there's tons of helpful and nice people in there, and there's more and more coming. And those discussions can be really useful over there, and it's a free place where you can ask anything, and people will help you, me included, but also others. You can email me, although I'm struggling more and more to keep up with these type of things, those channel review videos. I'm not sure I'll be able to do any more of those because I just simply don't have the time anymore. And as I grow and get more subscribers, it gets more difficult. So come over to school, email me, whatever it is you need to do, watch videos on this channel, but work on your improvements now. Get started if you haven't already. If you have, work on improving, because that is, I believe, the key. And that is what those channels that I've reviewed have done. They've shown up, they've made more content, they've improved, they've even reached out for help. And I continue to speak to some of them, especially Adam, who I speak to weekly now, sometimes even daily. And we talk everything YouTube, because you have to seize the opportunities you're given. If there's somebody out there saying, I've got free stuff, here it is, take advantage of it. And if they're offering help, take advantage of it. Okay? I've offered help to these people and to anybody else. And as I grow, my ability to do those personal things diminishes, because I just simply can't keep up. But you can still reach out. It's not too late. And even if I can't give you a 20-minute video, I can give you, a 2-minute maybe list of tips or something. It's just having someone to help, having someone to bounce ideas off, having somebody to talk to about this whole thing. That will help you with your motivation. It will help you with your growth. It will help you with everything. So take advantage of the free school community. Take advantage of other people's communities, other people's channels, other people's offers of help. And think a little bit outside the box, seize opportunities, because that will help you grow your channel. And that's what I've done. And that has helped me. So decide right now, where are you? Do you need more motivation, which you can find here? Or do you need more practical help and tips, which you can find in this video here? There's going to be a lot more of that coming. But what I want you to do is stop watching motivation, stop getting stuck at procrastinating, and just work on those improvements, because that is how I got to 1,000 subscribers, and that is what will get you there too.